So now Yasuke is a different beast entirely. My man is frontline, brutal warrior. So the cool thing about Yasuke, cool thing about this game is you're able to play as both characters. I feel like you can switch between on each mission. We didn't have enough time to kind of go through it, but if you want to play a stealthy approach, you can. If you have the itch to play frontline warrior, samurai, you can as well. He has 3 weapons we're able to play around with. This is one of the weapons right in here. Got this one, a blunt weapon, and it has a traditional katana. And ultimately, he felt very strong. Definitely very strong. You can tell by the size of him as well. He can put down some enemies. He has a lot of power in his swings. But I enjoyed it as well because sometimes you want to play stealth. And sometimes you just want to run through and just like fight every enemy in front of you. And that's kind of how the approach goes. This is the second weapon we got a chance to play. One thing I did enjoy is something I don't normally say in their Assassin's Creed games is the sound while the hits actually sound pretty good and satisfying. Especially when you get that finisher, when you hear that little splash happen. You get the parries going. My goodness. So it's just absolute powerhouse of a dude that you just kind of bobbing through. And we have different abilities as well. I think at this point I was earlier in. I was just trying to figure out like how to fight against multiple enemies. We have a kick ability, which I'll show later on. We also have a little samurai, what's it called? Aya slash skill as well. That's really cool. That we'll showcase a little later on as well. But ultimately, I just wanted to showcase all the different weapons you can get and show the difference in power. Oh my gosh. The power and approach that you can take with the 2 characters. So now we're back here with our 3rd weapon, which is our lo and behold, our katana. That skill is super cool because if you're close enough, you can kick the enemies and just do a little attack like that to kind of knock them off guard or, take their head off as well. And it doesn't necessarily cost any kind of ability. One thing I did notice is the enemies love using their kicking attack as well a lot. So what you want to do is after they kick you, they're going to throw a Canary at you. So you want to make sure you dodge that right after their strike. So she's just waiting for us to kind of save her. That's the kick I was talking about. The bigger dudes don't throw the Canary at you. Only the smaller dudes do. That's the skill right there. Oh my. It's super cool. I think they did a really good job. I love the effects where it kind of goes black and white and shows a little red slash like old school movies I used to watch with my mom. I like that aspect. I think honestly, I said this in my Now Wave breakdown video, is the gameplay is the best I've seen in an Assassin's Creed game. I think, period. I feel like it's snappy, it's fluid. It has a pretty good amount of challenge to it, and you can kind of bounce between multiple enemies. You have to change your approach, even though you're playing as Yasuke, who's supposed to be the frontline warrior. You also want to make sure that you're protecting yourself and using your defensive mechanisms like that as well to take down your enemies. So here's a harder dude, which they kind of have a good challenge as well. So we broke his armor down. Now we can do some real damage on him. Did this fight a couple of times because he has some pretty good moves. But we don't want to we want to give him any kind of pressure to do anything. Because you can see he has poison on his blade as well. Uh-oh. Watch it. And this is like one of the showdowns you get to experience in the game. Oh gosh. Just like that. So it does get pretty spicy. Character story is pretty good. It goes through the whole situation where Nobunaga has identified him as a warrior earlier on, and he kind of in our preview we kind of just jump in the future to him fully armored, fighting and just doing the thing. And what I'll leave you guys with right here is this is going to be a boss battle, 2 boss battles that you get to fight at the end of this. So you kind of get to see like how intense the boss fights can be. This first boss we're about to go against, it took a little bit of time. because I was going into aggressive and I was using some of my defensive maneuvers to kind of protect myself. So that's some of the things you want to watch out for. Oh my God, that's the kick I was talking about earlier. That kick goes so far. And I'm like, bruh, how can we even follow up with a combo like that? I think the kick goes a little too far, but it's pretty juicy.
Reaching Lord Naoe's samurai will be trickier than I thought.
The voice acting is cool. So he just like that, he's a brute character. You don't need to. You wouldn't necessarily climb over buildings. You can, but he's super slow and sluggish at it, which is true to the character. You're not gonna see a dude that size jumping over roofs. He'll just fall through the roof. So essentially, what he can do is he can barge through the door and get through that way. So using that ability, cause it just looks so cool. Broke his armor. This one of the bosses. When you see blue, that means a chain attack. Oh my God, stop. Stop. He's strong, but come on. That time, this is also at this part right here, I died and I used all of my potions, so I couldn't retrieve my resources. So we had to just get really good at doing this fight without like minimal health and no heals to back up. So that's why I was using some of the disc range attack to kind of close the distance, protect myself, to kind of get in there. He was trying to heal right here. I said, nope, not today. So I enjoyed my time. I like being able to switch between the two characters. Yasuke and Naoe, they satisfy two different needs, and you're able to swap between two characters. So I think that's a good option they gave us. We played the game. This was early access. This is a remote experience. I was at home. They were in San Francisco, and I was playing on their PC. And also, too, this was in 1080p, so I'm sure it will look better when the game fully comes out. But this is my first impression of the game. This guy is a pretty monumental person earlier on. And I'll leave you with this fight. Thank you for watching.
Could you give me one more moment? Very well. Lord Kanbei's terms are clear, but he did not say anything about you. In another life, Lord Nobunaga and I would have continued to be great allies. He was a man of unparalleled vision.
A meaningless sentiment.
I know. One last kill for the Shinbakufu. Then I will do what is needed.
Tell me where the box is.
With the Tatsu would prove he is worthy of the power he desires.
How?
Don't know. Never cared for it. In Setsu, I only wanted to see downfall of Kakoshiba Ikki to ensure my goals would not be interrupted in Harima.
Killing Lord Kanbei was only part of it. But it was not about power for you, was it?
I had power, and yet I was powerless to bring my son home. Never realized I never lost him. The Tatsu power will never... It cannot give him what he wants.
Yasuke, let me do this.
My son. My life for his. In all my lives.